Audio is rolling and we're live. Hey y'all, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been with me, if you're new, welcome to my channel. I talk about all things filmmaking, content creation, and branding. So make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications to be notified whenever I post. And today we're talking about taking more interesting photos. Also, today I'm going to talk about 4 things you can do to take more interesting photos, whether they just be for Instagram or you're doing anything for fun. This is what I do to take interesting photos. The first biggest thing, you guys, is poses. When it comes to taking interesting photos, you guys really want to do poses that are not your standard smile or hands on the hip or, thumbs up pose. You want to do more fun poses. You want to kind of explore, try different things. It may feel crazy, but it may end up being the best picture. What I do when I'm doing photo shoots is I will always play some kind of music. So I put on music so I can kind of dance a little bit and move to the music. So music helps tremendously. If I'm doing a photo shoot of somebody else, I'll typically bring a small speaker with me just so we can have music playing, because it helps you think of poses. It kind of helps calm the mind and you start to get a lot more comfortable being in front of the camera if you're not already really comfortable in front of the camera. On Twitter and on social media, you see a lot of videos of models just doing weird things and constantly moving. So I'd say personally, as a photographer, when I am shooting other people, I love when they're just constantly moving at the sound of my shutter. They just change to different poses. And so I definitely say have fun from the top up. Try different levels, try squatting, try laying down, try jumping, play around with different levels when you're doing your poses, play around with different angles with your poses. You can even just kind of play around with the clothes that you're wearing when you're doing certain poses. So definitely have fun with the poses, you guys. Put on some music and just move. Unless you want to do a standard pose that always works for you, go for it. I have my little look over the shoulder gonna be a pose that I do because it always works out. So if my crazy poses don't work out, then I have that. So play around in the mirror, find your pose that always works for you, and then just have fun with the rest of them. So the next thing when it comes to taking more interesting photos, you guys, is your background. So whether you're using a studio backdrop like this one behind me, or if you're actually going out and using a background outside or somewhere else indoors, I would definitely say focus on your background, especially pertaining to the outfit that you're wearing. So you can play around with a nature-based background. You can play around with just this regular wall. It can be a brick wall, concrete wall, stucco wall, a colorful wall. You can even play around with indoor. A lot of times my background does have to do with my lighting. If I'm working in my studio, then great, I have studio lights. If I'm outside, then it'll typically be because it's a really sunny, nice day. So definitely, think of a background that's going to complement your outfit. I always say, depending on what you're photographing, trying to have the most simplistic background. Maybe if it's a travel photo and you're really trying to show the background and the scenery, then look for something that's more extravagant and out there. But if it's a photo where you're really just trying to show your outfit or do some kind of fun poses, then try to do something that's a more simplistic background that's not distracting from the subject, which is beautiful you. Next, after background, I want to say clothes and wardrobe is going to be a big thing when it comes to taking more interesting photos. So like I said, you want to kind of look for backgrounds that maybe contrast the color of your clothes, unless you're trying to go for just a certain look. So if I'm wearing really bright clothes, maybe I want to take a picture in front of a bright orange wall and I have on a hot pink shirt. Great, wonderful. Or maybe I'm trying to be more neutral and I'm taking a black, just a photo in black, then I'm gonna look for a lighter background so that I'm not hidden in the photo or my outfit's not hidden in the photo. If you're kind of a person who's minimalistic and you have this simplistic aesthetic to you, and that's kind of just the outfit you're always wearing, then maybe your photos are gonna be more a neutral or a nature background. So definitely kind of think of your outfits and think of what's gonna complement your outfits. I'll say this shirt, for example, is very flowy. So this would probably be nice outside if it's windy, or if I'm outside by the pool. This shirt, I feel like gives a very relaxed but classy feeling. So you can even kind of base what kind of photos you're going to take off of what you're wearing. And then as far as poses, I'll definitely have a lot more movement with this shirt and just kind of play around with that. The next thing I want to talk about is props, you guys. I love when people utilize props. It's so great to me. Your props can be something as simple as a hat, sunglasses, and a purse, and you're just kind of playing around with that. You look like you're on the go. Your prop can be your phone. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. I like to use a lot of foliage or plants as different props, especially when I'm in the studio, or you can use real plants plants if we're taking photos outside. But I feel like props just adds to the, you know, maybe you're on the go, and maybe it's not even really a prop, maybe you're really on the go with your purse and your phone, or maybe you just incorporate those, or you have a book or some kind of, just incorporate some kind of prop. It can be a lot of fun, especially if you're taking a photo maybe at a desk, or you're trying to portray something through the photo. You know, have like stuff laid out on your desk that pertains to your interests, or maybe clear your desk and have a candle. So the last thing that I want to go into as far as taking interesting photos is going to come down to your edits. So you guys have actually taken the photos and you may have incorporated some, all, or just one of these elements, and now you want to go in and edit them. So if you took more simplistic photos, you can edit the interestingness into them, so you can have like little doodles on them if you want to kind of draw, if you like to draw in your photos, or you can even kind of play around with different photo editing applications. One of my favorites that I use in a lot of my editing tutorials is Prequel, and in Prequel I really like it because I can add like different holographic effects, or I can add a more vintage effect to it, or I can even add like a plastic texture and different overlays. So I really love playing around with Prequel, especially when I take a simple photo in my studio and I'm like, you know what, I kind of want to make this photo a bit more interesting. Then they have a lot of effects that I can play around with in order to make it a lot more interesting. So those are the 5 ways that you guys can really enhance and make your photos a lot more interesting and stand out a lot more on Instagram when people are scrolling down their timeline. I also have a few other videos of just me taking photos, if you guys would like to see the behind the scenes of that and the steps and the process that went into creating those photos. But thank you guys so much for coming by. Make sure to subscribe, like this video if it helped you out in any way. If you're about to go do a photo shoot and try all these tips, then comment down below #workthatcass on Instagram. I want to see it. I'm out. Bye.